the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the likes.
ESPN reveals that a notable Chicago Bears name could possibly be on the trade block. Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Well, Bears fans, there are major rumors spiraling around the Chicago Bears right now, claiming that a notable player could be on the move as Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears get their final roster down to the top 53. And as we all know, Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears have been super busy trading for a couple of players over the past couple of days. It started by trading a 6th-round pick to the Seattle Seahawks for pass rusher Darrell Taylor. Then they sent another 6th-round pick to Cleveland to get defensive tackle Chris Williams and a 7th-round pick. So Ryan Poles has made it very clear that the phone lines are open for this organization to make some move. And I don't think Ryan Poles is in the business of trading for another player. But ESPN did reveal that they believe that this current player on the roster that could possibly be on the roster bubble could be on the move for the Chicago Bears. And that is wide receiver Velus Jones Jr. They had this to say about Velus Jones Jr. They said the reason why Velus Jones Jr. could be a trade option for the Bears is that his financial obligation is $1.2 million in 2024, and he's in the middle of the dreaded positional switch. They said this, Bears fans, when the Bears used the number 71 pick on Jones in the 2022 draft, their starting wide receivers in 3 wide sets were projected to be Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, and Equinemius St. Brown. The hope was Jones could chip in as a playmaker and elite return man, but he had more carries, 17, than catches, 11, over his first 2 seasons. Now with the depth chart at wide receiver consisting of Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Rome Odunze, Jones' days as a receiver in Chicago are numbered. DeAndre Carter, acquired this offseason, might also be in position to take over on returns. Seemingly on an accelerated version of the Cordell Patterson career path, Jones has been moved to running back this preseason, where he has 25 carries for a team-high 158 yards. I don't think any franchise will be going after the 27-year-old to serve as his primary back, but with the potential for added value in the return game, a team can justify sending a late-round pick to add Jones and his 27.4 career yards per return for special teams help. Bears fans, this is really interesting because, I really have mixed emotions when thinking about Velus Jones Jr. Obviously, when you look at his first 2 seasons in Chicago, ESPN hit it right on the money. The goal for Ryan Poles taking Velus Jones Jr. out of Tennessee a couple of years ago with the number 71 overall pick in the 2022 NFL draft was for him to hopefully be kind of like that dual threat for the offense and maybe light a spark for the Chicago Bears offense. When you look at Velus Jones Jr., he's always been explosive. He's always been a very athletic player as well. But it just hasn't panned out in terms of him as a receiver on the Chicago Bears football team. In 26 games played for Velus Jones Jr., he's had 11 catches, 127 yards, and 1 touchdown to go along with 17 carries, 154 yards, and 1 touchdown. It just hasn't really worked out in terms of a wide receiver. He has offered some special team value as a punt returner and a kick returner, but even then, he has been kind of inconsistent in terms of muffing punts here or there. But I do like what the Chicago Bears did with him this preseason by moving him to running back, and it has worked out pretty well for Velus Jones Jr. He had 25 carries, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 6.3 yards per carry. Velus Jones Jr., to me, Bears fans, looked fast. He looked explosive. He showcased good vision. He was great in open space. Velus Jones Jr. definitely looked the part at running back, and it made you wonder if maybe this is the switch that the Bears need to do for a long time now, because Velus Jones Jr. has always struggled catching the ball, but maybe if he's used more like a Deebo Samuel and how the 49ers use Samuel within their offense, maybe he could be more effective, and he definitely looked the part in the preseason. So I know it's a loaded running back room with DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, and Roschon Johnson, but maybe Velus Jones Jr. in certain situations could be used as a Swiss Army knife to really elevate the Chicago Bears offense because he really looked comfortable at the running back position. That's kudos to the Chicago Bears coaching staff because I feel like they don't want to give up on Velus Jones Jr. quite yet. Obviously, if a team calls and maybe offers a 5th or even a 6th round pick for Velus Jones Jr., I think Ryan Poles and the Bears would pull that trigger. But I think that with the added position versatility that Velus Jones Jr. showed this offseason, this preseason for the Chicago Bears, I think that's going to tempt Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus to keep Velus Jones Jr. around one more year because even with the addition of a guy like DeAndre Carter, I still think I like Velus Jones Jr. a little bit better as the main kick return man, just for the fact that I feel like he's still a little bit more explosive. And that explosiveness really showcased when he was just playing running back. He didn't have to worry about running routes or catching the ball. All he had to worry is about taking that toss, finding the hole, and hitting that hole hard. And then that's when he really showcased his explosiveness, his speed, his vision, his playmaking ability. I absolutely loved what I saw from Velus Jones Jr. So I'm really conflicted right here. Of course, he could be a potential trade option for other teams, right? I think he would offer really good positional versatility for another team as well, especially with this added value as a punt returner or a kick returner as well. Once again, just like ESPN noted, he's not going to be the main back here in Chicago either. But I do think in certain situations, he can definitely help this offense because just like you saw this preseason, he was fast. He was explosive. He showed great vision and he looked really good in open space as a running back. So I think Shane Waldron, knowing the type of OC he is, I think there is still a spot on this football team for Velus Jones Jr. But once again, if a team comes out and says, hey, Ryan Poles, Chicago Bears, we will give you a 5th or 6th round pick for Velus Jones Jr., I think I would be okay by making that move. But once again, I am a little bit conflicted. But as the roster gets cut down to 53, we will see how much Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, and the Chicago Bears actually value a guy like Velus Jones Jr., and we'll see if they actually want to keep him on this team as a Swiss Army knife on the offense and the value that he brings as a specialist as well. But Bears fans, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. Do you think Velus Jones Jr. should make the 53-man roster for the Chicago Bears? Let me know down below what you're thinking in the comment section. But as always, make sure you continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. Better than that, be back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't kick on the mic.